So there's something called a LearningLAB, and it's going to be next weekend, and it's going to help journalists hone their skills with all the latest tools and techniques of the trade. Now, it's a workshop provided by San Francisco State University's Renaissance Journalism Center, and here to give us all the information is the center's executive director, Jon Funabiki. Hi, Jon. Thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
So this is kind of exciting.
Yeah.
You have all of this information to share with mostly ethnic and community journalists?
As well as nonprofits.
Okay.
We think that there's a real great opportunity for community media who are really interested in the community and nonprofit organizations that are interested in helping their communities to learn how to use media and use these new tools properly. And to get their messages out and also to engage their people. So
I know that especially here in the Bay Area, we have a lot of ethnic communities that are involved in journalism, community news, what have you. And it's changed so much. The traditional media has changed so much. So we're talking about video, audio, social interaction, social media. Facebook, little tiny flip cameras, Twitter. You name it. How to use that to get the message out.
How to use these effectively, how to transition. We also will be doing some workshops on nonprofit fundraising and entrepreneurship, because the whole media scene is changing right now. Okay,
well, the Renaissance Journalism Center is putting this on. First of all, what is that center about? The Renaissance Journalism Center
is a new organization created by the journalism department at San Francisco State University. And we specifically are trying to stimulate more innovative uses of these new media tools. And we do it in a number of ways. We give out small grants to community media outlets. We do training programs like this, and we provide technical assistance to help advise or consult.
Okay. No, we have a number of young people here in the building that are, college students, they're interns, and they're all interested in going into journalism. They're all interested in all the new technology, and they're playing around with their little cameras and what have you. What can they learn from you that they think they already know about?
Well, there are a couple things. One is I'm sure everyone here at KTVU has got a strong training in journalism, so we won't have to worry about that. But if they don't, they're going to learn a lot about journalism, new online research techniques that will help them develop stories, new ways of telling stories using different kinds of formats, whether it's video or audio. But they will also learn how to use social media tools such as Facebook and Twitter in effective ways to not only get their stories out to a larger community, but to engage those communities and have them become a part of the story.
I was going to say, there isn't necessarily a right or wrong way to use those tools, but as you just said, a more effective way of getting that message out getting a dialogue going.
Right, exactly. We find that a lot of people simply assume that if they have a Facebook account that they're going to be known to millions of people, and it just doesn't work that way. There are many more sophisticated ways of using these tools. You have to understand how to use these tools so that you're reaching the target audiences that you want to reach.
Why specifically target ethnic media?
Yeah, the Bay Area is really blessed because we have a wide range of ethnic community media, and they play a very important role in their communities. By some counts, there are more than 200 newspapers, magazines, radio programs, television programs, online websites that are targeted to particular communities right here in the Bay Area.
That's a lot, 200.
Right. This is an exploding area. You add to that the growth of hyper-local community media sites, such right here, Oakland Local here in Oakland. Up north, Berkeley side is a brand new community news website. These are exploding all over the place. These organizations who really are committed to serving their communities and their people are finding that they can use these new social media tools in a smarter way to get people engaged in their stories, because people no longer want to just read a story or just view a story. They want to comment on it. They want to engage you, Rosy, in a conversation. They're not used. They're no longer being passive because of this new generation.
But a lot of these media outlets, if you will, they have a very small constituency.
Right.
There's a very small targeted audience. will they be able to learn how to broaden their audience?
In some cases, I think they will. There's kind of a positive and a negative side to these media outlets that are focused to very targeted audiences. One is they really know their audiences, they really know their communities, they know who's important, but they also need to grow, to expand. If they're a for-profit, they need to expand their advertising or other revenue sources, and so they have to get a larger audience.
It's like anybody can do anything online, but whether or not you have the legs to stay in business and be able to grow and really reach the target audience and really get your message out is another thing.
And that's why we're also including the business side here. We have a couple of workshops that are dealing, primarily with how do you raise money or how do you create a new business given that the media landscape has changed. Unfortunately, we've had a couple instances here in the Bay Area where some very historic ethnic media outlets have gone belly up because they haven't been able to adjust to the new economy, the new media landscape. We're trying to help some of those kind of reinvent themselves as part of our work at Renaissance Journalism Center. But it's going to be incumbent for these outlets to really learn how to kind of survive, how to grow.
The competition is very stiff.
It's very tough.
So we're just talking about the LearningLAB now, but you have many other programs. So what we want to do is encourage people to go ahead and find out more. We'll have information up on screen in a little while. You can find out about the LearningLAB, as well as how to contact Jon and find out more about the Renaissance Journalism Center. But we're running out of time, so thank you very much, Jon, for sharing the information. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a short break, but still ahead, those who love vintage items will want to know about a great sale. We'll have the details. Stay tuned.